We immediately got hooked. We stop by whenever we leave the house. It's so tasty, I don't know what to say. Back when the tsunami hit Fukushima, I was Houen, a famous Chinese-style izakaya in Nikusan Hara no Machi, Sendai City. Let's have a look at how they prepare before opening. A clean kitchen is a sign of safety and reliability. It's the first time they're being filmed here. Sato Yutaka, owner. I was poor and I didn't like studying. I graduated junior high school and stepped into this world when I was 15. I entered this world and worked for 6 years at a shop owned by a Chinese man. I opened my own shop at 21. This might come out cocky, but I was confident in what I did. So I tried doing some experiments, my own way. I took a broken wok we didn't use at the shop anymore to my room and practiced using sand. I love being cool. So the way I fry is like beating a drum. Smashing the kettle and the wok. The guests appreciate the rhythm. On the counter, there are plates for fried rice. I put them there intentionally. Because I dish up properly and fast. The guests sometimes applaud. Also, the soba. We make ramen using the nets, but we also use the nets for tamen and gomok soba. They practice filling up bowls and squeezing the noodles dry. Keep repeating and you'll get the desired result. And if you make a mistake, now and then, it's something we can all laugh about in the end. I also underwent training at a place like that. That man was also a university teacher. And he taught me a lot of things. I stopped working there because it wasn't a good place, I realized. I couldn't keep working there, so I told the boss that I'd quit. And on my way home, I kicked the door closed. I don't remember, but that's what they told me. I said I'd quit, so the boss came and told me, I won't let you make a living in Sendai. And I said, are you serious? It's embarrassing to have you go to another shop, so open up your own, he said. So he became the guarantor of 21-year-old me. He got bank loans for me and became my guarantor for everything. There's always someone who recognizes your efforts. I opened this shop, and him pursuing me like that was actually for my benefit. We didn't have cell phones back then, so he taught me the address and even drew up a map for me. And back then, this was a really desolate place. 54 years ago, the road wasn't even paved. It was just gravel. But we still went ahead, even though we didn't get many people in the beginning. There was nothing but rice fields around here. We grew along with the times, and inevitably, I bought all of this up after 30 years. That's 100 million yen loan. But we got it at a good rate. My children would maybe be able to live a good life were they to take over the shop. And I think they will. Me and my wife don't get into fights. But either way, we got lots of debt, which means we gotta work. And other people might think we're just serious shop owners, but in reality, we're just in a tight spot. So we still gotta make money to the present day, preparing a huge amount of memma. A steady rhythm, I could watch it forever. These lightly pickled vegetables look tasty. Saito-san, chef. In one sentence, I really respect his attitude to cooking. He's not in the kitchen now, but back in the day, he was amazing. It was unique, just amazing. How many years have you been working here? Around 30. I came here right after I graduated high school. And by saying that, you can guess how old I am. Salad for garnish. The hall is cleaned thoroughly. A whole bunch of signed papers. Some tasty-looking memba. Sato Takayuki, the oldest son. He underwent 10 years of training in Yokohama's Chinatown. Is training in this industry tough? It sure is. It used to be way tougher. 30 years ago, the way people spoke to you, it's not like everybody criticized you that much, but there sure were people who did. I was told to give up and quit countless times. What's the most important thing you learned in training? The place I trained at felt a lot like home. There were only few people. There was the owner and chef, his chief, and then there was me. We were only a small bunch. I was there to fill someone's place. The chief taught me a lot all at once. But I went there as my father's son, which I think they knew about, to some extent. But I didn't know anything, as my father never taught me anything. So I went there as a complete beginner. I think they had a tough time teaching me. I couldn't even hold a knife straight, but they taught me well, and I was able to get lots of new skills. I wouldn't be where I am today without the training they gave me. What was the most challenging back then? There was a huge workload. Even though there were only few of us, we were in the middle of the bubble era. Yokohama Chinatown was really nasty throughout the week, and we had no days off. From 7 in the morning to 12 at night, no breaks. You can rest when there are few guests. Was the mentality back then. There was so much to do, and no end to it. Did you live near Chinatown back then? The guy had his house right in the back. He managed the place, and his grandma lived there. And on the top floor, there was kind of a dormitory, which was where I lived. I didn't have to pay rent or any utility fees. But when I got my paycheck, I'd use it all up. I needed to go out, have fun, and blow off some steam. What kind of fun? Going drinking. The boss really loved horse racing. So on our days off, we'd go see the horse race in Oi. Cycle racing and boat racing too. It's not a good thing though. As a chef, what are some good restaurants in Chinatown? Things have really changed since then. Souvenir shops started popping up and the vibe really changed. But pretty much all places around there are worth it. If they weren't, they'd already be out of business. How has the environment changed since then? It's pleasant now. After all, we've always lived here, but there's so much on our mind. Thinking about sales these days is quite depressing. We really had to worry about the shop being less busy due to COVID. Thankfully, to some extent, people still keep coming. We've been in the business for a long time, and we got our regulars, which is something that really helps. Preparing minced meat. Already looks tasty. I want to put it on some rice and eat it. Seats are also available on the second floor. And it's so spacious. Preparing fried rice. This is how a pro handles life. Depending on what dish it's used for, the roasted pork is chopped accordingly. These wonton are so pretty. Lumps of pork meat are deep fried. What is this used for? For sweet and sour pork. If we start deep frying as soon as an order comes in, it'd take way too long. So we fry them a little earlier. What do most people get for lunch? Lunch set A, lunch set B, which includes ramen and half-fried rice, or half Mapo, or the Houen lunch, which is named after our shop. Hapozai lunch, and the sweet and sour pork lunch is also popular. Lunch sets are popular here. These are lunch sets A and B. Soul food from Sendai, Mapo Yakisoba. Feline support.
いつもあそこにいるんですか？半世紀やってますといろいろ。
Was there anything that really stuck with you? Someone wrote about us, saying I had a fierce look. Do you still shake the wok?
鍋は振るんですか？
It's not like I wouldn't be able to, but I got 3 sons, and me being in the kitchen would just lead to fights. They say I use harsh language. Around 20 years ago, I had a brain hemorrhage, and I was paralyzed from the waist down. I took a break back then. My kids have already been in the industry for 30 years, and my oldest underwent training for 10 years in a long-established shop.
修行されて。
He worked there for 10 years with 14 hours of labor a day and only 1 or 2 days off a month. He came here and promised to expand the shop within 10 years. And he's been working for 10 years. But you know, you gotta get a loan whenever something happens. But we got a kind of promise as father and son. I thought it would be better to act like a man, but thinking back, I maybe shouldn't have. But now, because I fell sick, I only make gyoza and shumai. After that, they tell me it's alright to go home. That's our working style right now.
最近だって後継ぎに結構困るお店も多い中、3人も心強いですよね。
So for example, even if you go out of business because it isn't going well, you still gotta clear your debt.
今こちらの
Has the menu ever changed?
開業してからいろいろ変わってきてるんですか？
We only ever added dishes. At present, we got around 100 dishes.
基本的にはもう
Do you think of new dishes? Some of them, yeah.
今お店で言うと
What's your most popular dish?
出るメニューだとどういうものが
Fried rice, I guess. Fried rice, gyoza, also Cantonese noodles, shrimp soba. We've never pulled any dishes from the menu. Long before the tsunami hit Fukushima, there was the 1978 Miyagi earthquake, which also caused a lot of damage. Back then, all of our bowls were broken. After that happened, we made our own bowls, in case disaster strikes again. We gathered bowls and plates so that we'll be alright when the next earthquake hits. It happened on March 11th, didn't it? We opened the shop on the 14th, and so many guests came. Because now you can look everything up on social media. Such a long line. I love mahjong, pachinko, horse racing and gambling. But this business is the most fun for me. This area was greatly damaged when the Great East Japan earthquake hit. Even then, they reopened after 3 days. Lots of guests came to support them. Opening of the shop.
全然気にせずやっていただいて。揚げそばですね。
Deep fried yakisoba.
味噌ラーメンでご注文の方、はい、では手前失礼いたします。失礼します。
味噌ラーメン。
はい、エビそばになります。すみません。どうぞ。
Shrimp soba. Baked shrimp with chili sauce. Crab fried rice. Abalone umami. Ramen.
どちらも今焼きそば焼いて
仙台マポ焼きそば。Orders keep coming in.
ラーメン A ランチ B ランチ水ラーメン。
Sweet and sour pork lunch.
Butter lunch 以上です。
ランチです。
So why did you come today? I went to see the circus today.
お近くでねやられてますよね。
What did you have today? I had the B lunch set. It's a bit much, but it was so tasty. Everything's so delicious. So please keep the shop up and running. Thank you so much. Fried rice. Cuts curry rice. The kitchen is in full swing. Yakisoba.
担々麺大盛りです。
A ランチ、B ランチ、水ラーメン。 麻婆焼き、五目そば、餃子。
Mapo Yakisoba. Mapo Yakisoba. Gomok soba. How many times have you been here? I come here frequently. And when was the first time? Now when would that be? Over 20 years ago. It's just that we're not from here originally. We found Houen when we came to Sendai. It was nice and we liked the taste. Today I got gomok soba. I had gomok yakisoba. It was good and tasty. We usually go for gomok soba. But today, we felt like trying yakisoba too. What do you like most about the shop? It's always tasty. Every time we go to Sendai, we stop by. My sister lives nearby. Before, my sister's husband first introduced us to this place. That time, I thought it was so good, and we got hooked on it. So whenever we're in the area, we stop by. The gyoza here are great too, but we didn't get any today. But they're so good. Please keep doing your best. We love the food here. So make sure to always keep it this tasty. How many times have you come here? I've been coming here for so many years. It must be around a decade by now. I used to work in the area, so I always came here. Today I got gyoza, ramen and fried rice. I didn't eat all that by myself, of course. It's so tasty, I don't know what to say. What do you like most about the place? The gyoza are so good. I always feel like getting some. The skin's soft and springy. The inside is smooth and well balanced. They're very tasty. I'll keep coming here forever. So keep making your tasty food. Gyoza. Vegetable stir-fry lunch set. Crab fried rice. I was also treated to a tasty meal.
すいません、じゃあちょっといただきます。
And I'm having it right in the owner's parlor.
はい、いただきます。
The sweet and sour pork is so good. By the way, the owner is sitting right across the table.
あー、すいません、ありがとうございます。あ、すいません、ありがとうございます。
The owner proves his kindness by adding some tare.
すいません、わざわざ。
The chili shrimp are big and tender. The owner is letting me in on some inside stories.
4700円、相当大きいですね、じゃあ。
How do you picture the shop's future?
次行かれると思うんですけど、なんかどういう風にしていきたいとか、どうなったらいいなっていう思いはありますかね。
From here on out, people won't gather as much anymore, which in turn makes labor costs rise. So we're not going to continue without holidays. We'll introduce regular closing days, even if that means sales will decrease. We'll do it so that we don't need to use that much staff. But still, we want guests to be able to easily come in, whenever they want to. I'm not sure whether that's convenient for them, but we're always packed. People say it makes them laugh. Of course, we'll be packed if people decide to come at noon or in the evenings. So considering that, I listened to what my son had to say. And my wife also suggested we should rather draw back. How long do you want to keep going? There are tons of people having trouble finding a successor. But in our case, all three of them are rebelling against me. But they'll do a good job. Have the rising material costs made you change your prices? In August, everybody was talking about how things had gotten more expensive. 5%, then 10%. For us, who use crab, it got really expensive. It rose by around 15%. But still, we won't use cheap crab. Yeah, it really went up. What makes you glad about being in the business? Going shopping with my wife and eating out together is something I only do a couple of times a year. Me running this shop was something she never opposed. So the business went well for us. So many celebrity signatures. They even participated in a contest. It's been almost 8 years since they held the Mapo summit. This guy called Abe was the one who brought the whole thing into being. He called the newspaper companies. It was like the Olympics. And it became a newspaper headline. We didn't expect anything at all, but there we were. The reason we're doing so well right now is all thanks to this Mapo Yakisoba.
やっぱりじゃあ今でも人気の商品にはなってる。
We used our means differently back then. We had t-shirts and hats that had Sendai Mapo Yakisoba printed on them. We were brought on TV tons of times. I was on top, but I was also thinking about everyone else. Anyway, there was also an element of jealousy involved. How did the guests react? We got lots of praise. What do you do to work efficiently? Well, I've been doing this for a long time. It's not like we're all in harmony or something. Explaining it isn't easy. Just make your body remember by doing this job for years. Otherwise, you won't be able to. It's all about experience. How do you make the fried rice so tasty? Using high heat and stir-frying it all at once. How can people make it at home? Heat up your pan to the point that smoke rises. Keep making it till you find out what makes it taste the best for you. How do you imagine the shop's future? I think it's necessary to go for more rationalization. We serve up huge dishes, but I think that's a bad idea. Because then major companies will pick up on that and copy us. Then we'll go out of business. You see, we're not that cheap actually, to tell you directly. But if we enter the price competition like that, we'll probably lose. So it would be best to keep making good food like we do and reduce prices to some extent. Branding it as a luxury experience would be strange, but branding it as a lot is also difficult. So serving up good food might just be the best. If we rationalize awkwardly, guests that left us won't ever come back. So we need to establish a connection right there, I think. When it comes to customer service, communication is key. So serving a dish and going, here, will not make them want to come again. So a single word, or just a little conversation, is definitely needed. If we don't have that, I dare say they won't be coming back. Creating a new menu would be a good idea, but that's tricky. We can still rely on the Mapo and the other dishes, which is great, and we'll keep making the best of those. But introducing something new would be nice too. We gotta be patient. There are also people that tell us how much they love our food, so it might be a good idea. Anything you want to try out in the future? We were invited to try Uber Eats and other delivery services, but we ended up declining each time. There are some personnel-related concerns, but I'm convinced it makes the food taste worse. Our guests also say that we shouldn't do it. Lots of people don't want to see us becoming a Uber Eats partner, which I'm happy about. We'll wait for COVID to settle down a bit more, but for now, we'll just be patient, I think. Do you ever have trouble with your siblings? There are times when we fight, we have arguments, but we never get physical. It never comes to the point where we don't want to see or talk to each other anymore. It's just an extension of the fights we had as kids. We've been together for far too long, right? Working with your parents is unimaginable. You don't always want to be together, right? But we just got used to it. So I don't see him as my dad, but rather as my boss. If I don't, lots of unrelated matters get entangled into my work, so I ignore all that and treat him as the owner. Do you have similar personalities? No, we're totally different. My younger brother's got a temper. I guess being a chef suits him the most. He's the only one that graduated university. We only graduated high school. He does accounting and all that. I wish he would have been here today. I also had them try my shop's gyoza.
そうですね。少しこう吸うような感じで。
They're filled to the brim with juice. Using a spoon might come in handy. From skin to filling, 100% homemade. These gyoza are just like steamed buns. The filling's flavor is enriched with the umami taste of pork broth.
固めてあんに混ぜてるので。
The meaty texture combined with tasty garlic chives and onions completes the package.
それは光栄です。
いや、美味しいですよ。なんかマニュアル教えてもらって俺もなんかやりたいかみたいな。
Boil them, fry them, or add them to your hot pot during the cold season.
逃がさないようにこうしっかりめのもちっとした皮にしてます。
これスープに入れたら。
Arranging them is simple, so feel free to do it your way.
そうですね。
これはうまいわ本当に。
At my shop, we also serve them in white chicken soup.
みたいなのを作って、それにこう沸かしてスープ餃子みたいな感じで。
中国では中節ってお正月ね。
Gyoza are a symbol of good fortune, so they're also eaten when there's something to celebrate.
縁起のいいものっていう風に捉えられてますので、一応まあこんな。
For more details about my gyoza shop, check out the description.
ありがとうございます。こちらのお店で。
We also sell them online and for commercial use.
提供しますか。
やっぱりスープ餃子だからもうこうやって焼くよりも蒸しと。
Make sure to try them at home.
お湯で茹でたのとか電子レンジはね。結構 NG なんですよ。やっぱり
そうですね。
More info in the description down below.
あんな俺あんなから仕入れて売るかな。
ありがとうございます。一応そういう販売もしてますので、はい。
Please support them with a comment. Extra scene after this. Do you ever get off work?
お休みは取られてるんですか？
Today was supposed to be my day off, actually. So what do you do when you're off? Well, it's not something I like telling people. If you had total freedom, what would you do?
何かしたいですか？
I'd play mahjong 4 times a day.